Hey guys, it's Dragon. Welcome to part 3 of my Soul Calibur 5 modding guide. In today's episode, we'll be going over how to modify the proportions of original characters. For example, giving Tira bigger breasts or making Maxi obese. For some reason, I remember one of you kept posting something about an obese Maxi in the comments, so I figured I would include that in this tutorial. Now, if you haven't seen episodes 1 and 2 of this modding guide, be sure to check that out, because in those episodes I do explain things a lot better. I'm assuming you get generally how this process works, so I'll make this as fast as possible. However, this video will probably be a bit longer than the other ones. And also, after you're done watching, be sure to read the video description. It might answer some questions that you may have. I'll start off by explaining generally how this works. Of course, you want to make sure you have a good Soul Calibur 5 template for your saved data. For the purpose of this tutorial, I'll be modifying a Tira and a Maxi. So my Soul Calibur 5 data consists of a Tira and Maxi occupying their own save slot. And the next step, which is something new, is pretty much we're going to create a custom character, and we're going to give that custom character the proportions that we want Tira to have, Tira or Maxi. And so I started off by creating a female CAS, Tira's fighting style, Tira's approximate size, and I maxed out her chest size and made her thighs a bit bigger. I named this CAS Test DD for Test Double D's, breast size. Didn't have to explain that, I'm sure. Anyways, I created another one for Maxi. So he has Maxi's fighting style, and on the contrary, I actually made this one pretty much maxed out for everything. So I made him as big as fat as possible. So you have this disgusting, this very disgusting, sweaty, glutton-looking fellow, and we're going to be giving his extra kilos to Maxi. So you want to make sure you just have a CAS with the proportions that you want to apply to your original characters. And once that's done, just be sure to save the data or extract it to your desktop, wherever. And we'll now begin. So start by opening HxD and finding your Soul Calibur 5 save data. Now the first thing I'll have you do is actually find the CAS you created, as opposed to searching for your original characters. So first thing I'll do is search for Test Double D, and there it is. After you find your custom character, I want you to copy all of its code and put it in a new file. And so I'll just pretty much as you want to get from its name up. So I'll show you how that's done. You want to just copy everything from the several groups of 4Ys up to the groups of 7Ys, which I'll be going to shortly. Right here, where you have the style byte located. You want to copy all this, keep going up, and you want to reach the beginning of your character save data, which is where you have several rows of just straight Ys. So I'll copy this, create a new file, and paste this inside. So now I have my Test Double D character. Scroll all the way to the top. Now back to your original Soul Calibur 5 save data, you want to search for the character you want to apply those proportions to. So now I'll look for Tira. And I won't be copying anything, but to make things faster, I'll just scroll to the very top of her character code. So just stop when you get to the several rows of Ys right here. And okay, this is where we want to be. This area here represents your character's all their physical aspects in terms of like their size, proportion. All of that is represented here. And so what you want to do is go to your custom character and copy this code and paste it or overwrite it where Tira's proportion data is located. The thing is, this is going to be different for every character you modify. It's not going to be the same for any of them. So we'll start off with female characters. I believe every female I've modified, the code has started off with a comma followed by QE and a bunch of other miscellaneous characters. And so that's what you want to look for. And when you copy the code from your custom character, you want to only copy it down to either here or here. For the purpose of this tira, copying it from this point up would be fine. So if I go to the CES character, well, actually the thing is you won't see a Y there. So you want to copy it from this point forward. I guess that's probably the safer way to do it. You'll have ... followed by a Y by itself and the question mark E. You don't want to surpass this area here. If you do that, your save data for this particular character will most likely corrupt. So I'll go to my CES. I'll copy everything to the Y by itself here. Go back to my tira, and what you want to do is exactly where you copied it on your CES. You want to right click there and paste right. Very, very important you paste right. If you paste insert, it'll just inject more data in there, so it'll screw up your whole entire save file. The game won't even load. It'll say it's corrupt. So you just paste right that in there. And as you can see, this will, more often than not, this should definitely work because I'm not surpassing these 3 dots, the Y, or any of these other characters here. It's just from this kind of Y by itself up to the QE. Anything more and you will risk just destroying your character utterly. And the thing is, it's a very hit and miss process for people who haven't done this before. It's really just trial and error. So the first time you do this, it might not work, in which case you just want to look at how much of this data you're copying. You want to make sure you, again, don't surpass this area at all. You might want to try only copying certain parts of it, but I'd recommend try to keep the whole thing together. But just make sure, again, you do not overdo that. Very, very important. I cannot stress that enough. And after we're done with that, we're going to modify the male character, which is actually quite different and a lot less organized than that of the females. So I'll find my maxi CAS, which is appropriately labeled obese. And it's the same process. I'm going to copy all of the character code for obese, and I will save that in a new file on HxD. So you just want to keep scrolling up until you get past the groups of 7 Ys here, until eventually you hit this spot. So I'll copy that and create another new file. And just paste your data in there. Now back to the Soul Calibur 5 save data. I want to find my maxi. And once again, scroll to the very top, past the group of 7 Ys. Okay. Now, as you could see, it's very different when you're looking at, for example, Maxi and this fat character I created. It's nothing alike. So it's, as you can see, it's going to be a bit more difficult to work with. And that's why I say this is very trial and error. You might figure, hey, if I copy this stuff here and paste it, here out, that'll actually corrupt your character. And the only thing I could think of that seems to work is like the female characters with their, usually I said it's followed by like a comma and QE, or just a QE. You want to look for different parts that seem to be there with every character you'll be changing. For the males, at least, it seems as if this symbol here is what you want to look for. This is where your character proportion data starts. And of course, I don't want to surpass that Y followed by the ... Y. So from here on up is what you want. So I'll go to my fat ass obese character. And this is just a hunch, but I figure this is what I'm looking for. And so I want to copy from that greater than symbol. And in here, find that greater than symbol, not where the Y's end, but right here. And I want to paste right that inside. Now you have this Y here followed by the ... Y, which seems to be telling me that I'm not interfering with any data that's not relevant to character proportions. So I know that more than likely this will be a success. And basically that's all you really have to do when it comes to modifying the proportions of characters. You just want to find that code segment located here. You want to copy it from your CAS and paste it and overwrite the data for your original character. Pretty easy. Once you get a hold of it, you'll be able to just whip it out. You won't be corrupting any of your characters or anything like that. If you've done it wrong, more than likely your save file will load up correctly. However, when you try to play as your character or you try to check it out in the custom character editor, it will say, more than likely it'll give you a message saying that you're using DLC content, it's not available, your character file is corrupt, something along those lines, and it'll probably just freeze the game or it'll crash. Sometimes it'll load the stage, but it won't load your character, and you won't be able to exit out of that unless you go to your 360 dashboard or restart the game, whatever. And with that, I'll basically conclude this tutorial. Be sure to, of course, always save your file. I would suggest saving it somewhere else and keeping the original untouched, just in case you mess something up and your characters don't work. You could always just go back and change it without having to re-extract the file. And just open up Horizon. Of course, run the quick fix, which is again very important. If you do not run that quick fix, your file will never work. So be sure to do that. And after the quick fix is in, just inject your game file in your game Soul Calibur 5 directory. And hopefully your characters work out pretty well. So anyways, if you have any comments, questions, concerns, be sure to leave them in the comments section. If you like this video, be sure to like and subscribe. That's always nice. If you're a Tira fan, one up for that. And next tutorial, I will be going over how to apply body art to your original characters, like giving Tira tattoos. I'm sure some of you guys have seen me do that lately. And I might go over changing the poses for your original character as well, switching them up. So I could have Tira with Ezio's poses, for example, but still maintain her weapon and fighting style. But until then, I guess I'll see you guys next episode. So, Dragon out.